Um, this person's writing in from China,
Yes.
and they said that they are a university student and they don't like the educational system at all.
Well, there are many different kinds of educational systems that are being created on your planet now, but if they find none to their liking, they can always create a new one.
Right, because they're saying, will there be any change for the education system on our planet?
Yes,
And
as
what
we
should-
already said, there are changes taking place. What they really need to involve is the three-step process that we have outlined, where you create an environment, a safe environment, in which you can teach the idea of consequences of your choices in a way that doesn't have disastrous repercussions, allowing people to truly understand what these consequences are and take responsibility for them before they try them out in the world. Also, interactivity in this way, making it as real simulations as possible so they really feel like it's a real world situation, is of paramount importance, because again, if they think they're sort of faking it because it is a simulation, you have to make it as interactive and real as possible so they will understand truly the experience of the consequences of their choices, but again, in a safe environment where it doesn't ripple out into the world. And third, the idea of adapting the lesson to the thing that excites the person instead of attempting to force their excitement into a lesson box that doesn't work for them is of paramount importance. Learn by doing, learn by experience, and allow the person to learn through the way in which they are designed to learn. Now, this is beginning to change in some of the systems on your planet. It is called a developmentally appropriate system, or a developmentally appropriate process, where each child is taught to their strengths and not just homogenized into a class where everyone is taught exactly the same thing in exactly the same way. This is a step in that direction, where you start to tailor what you're teaching to each individual based on their excitement, their way of absorbing information, their way of interacting with the world, their way of processing information, and allowing them to learn by experience rather than simply throwing facts and figures at them, which will usually just bounce off their skulls anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. Back in the 60s, there was an educational system called Summerhill,
Yes.
where the children didn't have to attend class at all. And they lived on site, and then they were able to learn whatever they wanted to. And interestingly, they found within a couple of weeks, all the kids that were wanting to stay home started showing up at class.
Yes.
And they started creating models and things like that to work from.
Yes.
And a lot of those kids ended up going to Harvard.
Yes.
So it was
Learning
interesting.
is exciting. People want to learn if they are allowed to learn the way that it's natural for them to learn, in the way that's aligned with their excitement. People are sponges. They will absorb it all. They will find ways to adapt information that may be necessary in your society into a methodology that they can relate to. And then they will learn what they need to learn. They will learn the guidelines. Yes, of course, we understand there are certain things that may be handy for everyone on your planet to know, certain guidelines that are part of living your life in a productive and safe way. But these things can all be learned in a way that is in alignment with excitement. They don't have to be learned in a rote manner, and they can't be learned in a rote manner.